Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So I wanted to do a brief video today about Trump, old number 47, and MAGA in general, because I kind of got into it with a family member the other day about Donald Trump. And at the end of the day, I did vote for the cat. And the first time he ran and the first term that he served as the 45th president stood out because at the time, the fact that he was a billionaire was an attractive thing because it suggested that he could not be bought. And I think at the time, people are where I am still. I think corruption in America and politics and American corporations is the most ridiculous it ever has been. I think that global influence in America is repugnant. I think the fact that we're at war in Iran right now is a joke. It's not a joke for our military. It's not a joke for the people of Iran. It's not a joke it's a government versus government war. It had nothing to do with people. And we're fighting that war for Israel. And we can't say the truth in America for some reason. And Israel has it documented that if you talk against Israel and what they're doing, that's anti-Semitic, which is false. That's nonsense. But the definition that they have, that's the definition of anti-Semitic these days. And then you have Christians that believe that this Israel is the Israel of the Bible. They don't understand that the nation of Israel, the line of David, where Jesus Christ came from, that was the people who mattered. After the life of Christ, everyone else at that point had a divergent life where either they believed in Jesus and were the chosen people, the church, Jesus Christ church, the Christians, the people who were trying to be Christ-like, and you had everybody that was not. Prior to Jesus, the only people that could get to God and go to heaven were Jews. During Jesus' lifetime, Gentiles now became an accepted piece of that church to serve Jesus Christ. So the Israel state that now exists that we created after World War II is not God's chosen people, even though a lot of churches would have you think that. The issue is no one anymore reads a book. Okay, I am very grateful that I got into reading 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Prior to that in high school, I had probably read cover to cover, maybe 6 books. It's April the 21st right now. I read 6 books this month. I'm ravenous in that now because I'm interested in what people saw before and what was documented, right? That's wisdom. You learn from the people that came before. You learn from their mistakes so you don't have to make the same mistakes yourself. That is the definition of wisdom. The issues I have with Donald Trump specifically and with this current governmental generation and with MAGA is supposed to mean make America great again. Well, first off, I think America was always great. I think the corruption in America is out of control. I think the spending in America is out of control. I think the moral repugnancy in America is out of control. With the proliferation of TikTok and Snapchat and all these things, you've seen a diversion of ethics. You've seen marriage become less and less popular, specifically with grown men, especially men of GenX, because we don't want to risk everything we own to be married to a person who has no moral quantitative value. And then that's not all women. I'm just saying there's a lot out there that specifically get married with the expectation of taking, not giving. And a marriage is supposed to be giving from 2 people. And when you get back from that and pull yourself back out of it, MAGA is the one thing that's ridiculous now that people are defending like it's their religious faith. And that's the issue that I'm having. We have people in America that worship Trump, the politician, which makes no sense. Because if Trump was doing what he said he would do, then you wouldn't have so many people that now have a problem with him. And he is saying to those people, you're not MAGA. Well, neither are you, dude. You're not making America great. You're not putting America first. We're literally fighting a war right now for another country, okay? And then you can't stay off social media. Every single day you're posting posts. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to destroy. I'm going to do all this. You mock Jesus Christ. You mock Islam. So it's clear what you're thinking, which was also a lie that you told the public. You told the public you were a Christian. You said you live by Christian values and all this, which your business history and all that suggests some other things. But the primary issue I have with Donald Trump is there's no justice. So the reason he got elected the second time is people believed that he was not going to be a politician like everyone else. And people believed that he was going to go after and punish the people that were guilty inside the Epstein files. The Epstein files have been an excellent source of information around the most disgusting human beings in America and in some other countries, but primarily in America. And they should be fully prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And right now, Donald Trump is the one standing in the way of that. So any Christian person that thinks a Christian can be someone who allows children to be victimized and there not be any justice for those children, anybody that believes that and calls themselves a Christian needs to look at what the Bible says a Christian is, because you've lost your path. At the end of the day, the 7 things that God hates, the lying is in that, right? The people that victimize or rush to spill innocent blood, the people who drive wedges in between people and try to cause strife. If you go down these things that God hates, it's like Trump is using that as his daily playlist that he's posting about every other day. And threatening another country constantly because we have the greatest military in the world. There's no doubt we have the greatest military in the world. That's not Donald Trump's military. That's America's military. Okay? America has the greatest military in the world because of the people that fight for the military. Okay? And the scientists that make the things that we use and how we fight wars, and the statisticians that take those numbers and show how we need to do things numerically from all the wars that we did before. I mentioned in a video the other day, Hedgeseth had fired 8 generals and admirals or something. And he quoted a Bible verse that he thought was a Bible verse, which actually was not a Bible verse at all. It was a line from a movie that came out in the 90s, Pulp Fiction. The clown calls himself a Christian and is quoting a Tarantino movie as if it's a Bible verse. It's pathetic, okay? So the biggest issue I have with Donald Trump is now he's proven Democrats right. And I'm not a Republican Democrat guy. I'll vote for the person I feel is the best. I don't think the other option was an option at all. But I did expect to have more done from Donald Trump that he said he would do. I did have expectations of a politician. So this has been an education for me, because prior to this president, I didn't have expectations for politicians before, because I knew they were all corrupt and they're all trash. And I was right. And so I'm thankful for this education, because I knew before that politicians were exactly this. They were liars who would lie to set their own self up. And after that, they would screw the American people over. Here's the issue I have. Term limitations need to happen for everybody in government. Spending needs to be limited. There needs to be some fiduciary responsibility by our government. Our president should not be a clown show. He needs to get off of social media. He needs to get us out of these endless wars. We don't need to be at war with Iran. We don't need to be killing a bunch of people in Iran. If we want to protect American citizens in America, have the FBI and the CIA actually do that. Stop stealing Americans' data and selling it to corporations. Protect our borders. Follow up with proper police work. Stop letting cities act like they can overrule law, right? And bring America back to what made it so great in the first place. What makes America great is not Donald Trump. It's American citizens. It's the people that pay the taxes that are endless. It's the people that go to jobs every single day that are thankless. It's those very people that are losing their medical benefits, that are having to pay record amounts of money for rents and mortgages. They're having to pay the most they've ever paid for gasoline. They cannot afford to buy groceries for their children. This is America. These are the people that are great. These politicians have nothing to do with that. All they do is make things more difficult, and they're too expensive. They can't be sustained. And in recent wars, recent history shows that America used to get wealthier the longer we spent in wars. That's not even the case anymore. America doesn't get wealthier anymore. The politicians do. Okay? So that's the biggest issue I have with politicians and frickin' Donald Trump. So you people out there that are still saying MAGA, make it make sense. Okay? How is any of this making America great? All right? And any of these people out here that claim to be Christians that are saying that Donald Trump is a Christian, how? Prove it. Of all the things that I listed out, look at the 7 things that God hates. Trump still fits that picture. The biggest thing that's called out in that is pride. Look what he does every single day. He's the best. He's the biggest. He's the greatest. Yes, he's always been that. But he's not said it every day on social media like he has recently. Something to think about. In the end, it's all my opinion. At the end, you have to decide for yourself. But in the end, if you think Make America Great has anything to do with a politician, if you think Donald Trump is a Christian and cares about you or me, or the grocery bill, or the gas bill, then why isn't he posting about that on social media instead of just posting about his war? Something to think about. I'm Ben. If you like content such as this and videos such as these, please like, please subscribe. Be good.